If you're new to scale modeling, or maybe you're returning after a long hiatus, you're probably wondering, what tools do I absolutely need to build a model? Now, I'm going to be upfront with you right away. You're going to find people out there who are going to tell you you're going to need an airbrush. That's not true. Now, am I saying that you're going to want to brush paint the USS Enterprise? No. But you can achieve that finish with spray cans. An airbrush can make things easier for you, but that's a discussion for another time or another video. Actually, we have a lot of videos that you can find in the links below about airbrushing. However, what we're going to concentrate on right now are what are those essential tools that you need to build a model. If you're a noob or if you're coming back. Let's take a look. So first of all, this checklist is not going to break the bank, right? There are just a few items that you're going to absolutely need. And the first thing on your list is going to be a hobby knife with a number 11 blade and replacement blades. This is going to be your workhorse tool. You're going to use it for a lot of different things, from cleaning up sprue nubs to scraping away mold seams and much, much more. So this is an absolutely essential tool. Next in line as an essential tool is your side cutters, your nippers. These are going to be used to separate your parts from the parts tree, or what we also call the sprue, the runners, parts frames, and lots of different names for them, but you're going to use these to get those parts off. So that's probably your second most important tool that you're going to add to your toolbox. Next up, tweezers. Tweezers are extremely useful for holding small parts. They're also useful for holding decals and transferring decals from the backing paper onto your model. Tweezers. A good set of sharp scissors, sharp point, nice edge, not too big. You don't want big like bone shears that you keep in the kitchen. What you want are something that are extremely maneuverable. You're going to cut any number of things with these, whether it's masking tape, thread for rigging perhaps, or more importantly, your decals. You're going to use these to get your decals separated so that you can go ahead and put them into water and apply them to your model. This is Vallejo. It's a water-based acrylic putty. You can also get solvent-based putties from places like Tamiya. The solvent in the putty, it sort of melts the plastic and it sticks better to the plastic, where you're going to want to make sure that this is really good and dry before you go messing with it. Another tool that you're absolutely going to need is actually a set of tools, sanding sticks. Sanding sticks, you can get them in a variety of grits. If you purchase them all together, you can get those grits all at one time, from extra fine all the way up to coarse, or coarse all the way to extra fine, however you want to go with it. And then also a polishing stick, right, that has 3 different kinds of grits on it to get the surface as smooth as possible on your model. Now you may be asking, Tim, you talked about construction. How do we construct the model without glue? Well, I was getting there, right? We were talking about some of these tools, and now we'll go ahead and talk about glue, because glue is a category all unto itself, right? You're going to need basically 3 types of glue. You're going to need a plastic cement of some sort. You're going to probably want a white glue of some sort, and you're going to want super glue of some sort. Now we have a variety of all 3 of those things here. The first that I'm going to show you is a thin liquid cement. This one is from Tamiya. You can see here, it's thin like water. You can apply it with a small brush that's provided in the cap, and you just go ahead and touch it to the seam of your model, and through capillary action, it flows in and melts the 2 halves that you're gluing together, melts them together and allows them to stay attached. That's how solvent glue works. You can get a somewhat thicker solvent glue, something like this Revell Contacta glue, and it comes with a metal applicator. And again, it's a little bit thicker than the watery thin cement. You'll apply it to the halves and then glue them together. Usually it's going to take a little bit longer for this kind of cement to dry than the thin cement, but it will also give a nice solid bond. Now, when you really need to glue something together, then there is the trusty, handy-dandy Testors cement for plastic models. Other companies make this cement as well. It's very thick, it's very gooey. You need to be careful with it because it can spider web, it can get all over the place, and if you touch it on your fingers, touch it to the plastic, it will leave fingerprints. So just be careful with it. All of those are solvent cements that you'll use to assemble your model. Then you can also use, in some cases, super glue. Super glue will allow you to assemble parts very quickly. It comes in a range of viscosities, how thick it is, from watery, much like the extra thin cement, to a gel type. But what this allows you to do is stick parts together very, very fast. And you'll want to get accelerator that goes along with it. You put this on, then you touch it with the accelerator, and it immediately cures the super glue. Lastly, for clear parts, when you want to attach those, like windows in a car or canopies on an airplane, what you'll want is some sort of white glue. This is specifically designed to be used on clear parts. It's somewhat flexible, and it dries in a relatively short amount of time. The last thing you're going to want is a couple of paintbrushes. Now, you don't have to go nuts and have a full set of paintbrushes, but what you're going to want is one paintbrush for doing larger work, right? So base coating and that kind of thing, and then another brush for doing finer detail work. So a good option is a 1 for more of your project work and a 0 or a double aught for your finer work. And you're going to be able to use those to do just about any sort of detail painting that you're going to want to do. As you get further along, you can expand your paintbrush collection to accommodate your other uses. But to start out, a 1 and a 0, both that come to a nice fine tip, those are going to work perfectly for you. Those are the tools that you absolutely need to build a scale model. Let's go over them one more time just to make sure that you don't forget. First, you're going to need a hobby knife handle with a number 11 blade and replacement blades. You're going to need side cutters, tweezers, a nice set of scissors, sharp and maneuverable, so not too long, putty, a variety of sanding sticks in various grits from coarse to extra fine. You're going to need plastic cement. I recommend that you have at least an extra thin cement. Doesn't have to be from Tamiya, it can be from another source, and a liquid cement. If you absolutely need it, you can have a gel plastic cement as well. You're definitely going to want to have super glue and accelerator on hand, and then a white glue of some sort for clear parts. Lastly, you're going to want to have at least 2 paintbrushes. You don't necessarily need more right now. What you need is a paintbrush for general work and then a paintbrush for detail work. Now, a lot of these products you can find on cullenblockhobbystore.com in the links below. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments, or you can email us at questions@finescale.com. I'm Tim Kidwell. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.